This episode is sponsored by NordVPN. Now, in today's digital world, your privacy is constantly under threat, whether it's hackers on public Wi-Fi or websites tracking your every move. And that's where a VPN comes in, but not just any VPN. You need one that's fast, secure, and reliable. Enter NordVPN. With military-grade encryption and a strict no-logs policy, NordVPN keeps your online activity private, even on the most insecure networks. Over 5,000 servers in 60-plus countries give you lightning fast speeds and access to content from anywhere. Plus, NordVPN works on all your devices with one account. Get started today with a special discount only available for our audience. Just click on the link in this episode's description. Stay safe, stay private, stay connected with NordVPN, the best in the business.
From deep within Makash Films HQ and parts unknown, this is the Weekly Messenger.
And are we rolling? All right. Thank you for joining us on the Weekly Messenger. Hope everybody's having a great week. Thank you, Zipporah and Chloe, as always, for joining us. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Nothing too crazy. Besides the Super Bowl this weekend, I didn't really do too much. Nothing too exciting. Glad the Eagles won, though.
Yeah. Zipporah, were you rooting for the Eagles?
Yeah. It's Black History Month, so, I'm rooting for the blackest team. That's the energy.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh. Oh, my God.
I don't even watch football.
But hey, it's priorities, right? Priorities.
Yeah, no, my loyalty lies. Definitely. Is that a dog?
Yeah, my little engineer / co-host here is like wanting to participate. Sorry, her name's Gabby. You may hear once in a while. I was gonna roll some stuff here from the Super Bowl. Just a little bit of video. We could talk about that. That's kind of the main thing that's been. I mean, that just happened yesterday when we tape on a Monday. So, where did I put that clip? Let's see. Oh, she's gonna chime in. Well, dang, I had a clip, but I guess it's not on there. Anyway, what did you guys think about? Was it a dud this year? I mean, I think the big hype was, are the Chiefs going to win 3 straight? And of course, the game, it wasn't much of a game, I guess, but there were other things going on. Trump was there, first time president to come to the game. Taylor Swift, of course, in the box. Big controversy, I guess. I don't know. I don't really understand what the controversy was on the halftime show. What's your all's take on that? Did you hear any of that?
Yeah, Twitter has been, or X now, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. But no, X has been up in arms on multiple. People are dissecting Kendrick's halftime show and the double entendres and the meanings down to the chain, down to the, the board, representing like Squid Games, to the commentary. It's so layered. I mean, I don't think Kendrick's show, first of all, the Super Bowl, it is what it is. I'm not a sports fan. So, or rather I'm not a football fan. So I watched specifically the halftime show. I came there for Kendrick, and it was meant to be controversial. He said in the beginning of his performance, he said the revolution will be televised. This is the right time, but you picked the wrong guy. And that statement in and of itself is not it's not a peaceful statement at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, Neil Scott Herring, "The Revolution Will Be Televised" is the poem that's from, or he's calling back to, and it's a poem basically saying that the revolution will be in the streets, and so that's not, that's not a peaceful. It's supposed to be controversial. Like, he didn't do any of that to not be controversial.
Yeah.
Especially with Trump being there, that was a direct call out, and it was. He's also a Pulitzer Prize winning rapper.
Yeah.
And I think that seems to escape people sometimes when they don't think Pulitzer when they think rappers. But he's an artist, and that's who he is. And I thoroughly enjoyed the performance. I knew some people who were some of the dancers in the performance. So I had some personal investment going on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't it? It's nice to see people doing the thing that they love to do. But yeah, I think he did a phenomenal job, especially as the first rapper to headline the Super Bowl in 58 years. I think he did well.
What about you, Chloe? I know that you guys at your family's house, you had some low key, just kind of hanging out watching it. But you guys are for the Eagles too, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not a huge sports fan either. I don't watch football a lot. But I think mainly for me and like my family and friends too was mainly just we were sick of seeing the Chiefs win all the time. We just wanted someone else. Yeah, glad the Eagles won. And then as far as halftime goes, I really liked the performance, and I did like sort of the hidden like meanings and messages and the layers to it. I grew up doing dance, so I love watching that kind of stuff and like analyzing it, and especially with like costuming and like all that kind of stuff too. I think it was really cool. I liked Samuel L. Jackson's little appearance in the beginning. Definitely didn't expect that to be a special guest. But I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good mix of like entertainment plus having some like sort of subtle or like hidden political messaging and things like that. I think it was a good balance of both. It wasn't too over the top one or the other, and I think it was really timely, especially again, like Zipporah said, since Trump was there and things like that. I think that was kind of a good time to make that statement, and it was a little risky, but I'm glad he took that risk.
I mean, the halftime shows have always been kind of expect a little bit of controversy, right? Because I mean, I can remember several halftime shows that were something happened or a little controversy, like the Janet Jackson thing. I mean, there's been a lot of that. So I don't know, to be totally shocked and up in arms about it. I guess I don't get that, because it's a time for artists to come out, and whether you like it or don't like it, it's art. So, but I'm old and dull, so I don't know about the Serena Williams thing. What was that about?
Oh, so Serena Williams is Drake's ex.
Okay.
And Drake was not, he did her dirty, as the young folk like to say, young hood folk. Yeah, he did not treat her well. And so actually SZA and Drake dated in 2009. And then Drake also dated Serena Williams. So hello, Tank. You're here for your appearance.
It's pet night.
It is pet night.
The show.
Yeah. Hello, Kat. But yeah, so him having her, and she's from Compton. So him having her crip walk while he's performing They're Not Like Us is blatantly disrespectful.
Oh, okay. So he was like pulling out all the stuff just to kind of put it in people's faces, some things.
Yeah.
Multi-layered, you said.
Oh my gosh. There's a video of Drake. He's on tour right now in Australia. There's a video of Drake and his team watching the Super Bowl performance.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's not looking good for Drake. It's just
Wow. I mean, he was like just a couple of years ago was on top, right? I mean, everybody, that's all you heard. And then now it's so funny to me how people fall out of favor,
It was a quick switch up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, what do you guys think about, are you tired of hearing about the whole Taylor Swift thing? Is that getting old? The whole focus around her? Yeah. I mean, there was a rumor going around that he was going to propose if they won. And so I don't know. It's just, I'm tired of hearing about it just personally. It's just, I don't know. Yeah. I think some people say it distracts from the game. I don't know necessarily about that, but it's one of those things like, okay, enough already, just in my opinion. But
Yeah, I think it's definitely blown out of proportion some. I know they showed her a lot last year. I think that's why maybe they didn't as much this year. At least I didn't see her as much whenever I was watching it. I feel like the focus wasn't as much on her, which I think was probably a good thing just to avoid all that controversy and stuff.
Yep.
But I also think, again, people just blow it out of proportions. You know, she's just there trying to watch her boyfriend. I'm not even a Taylor fan, but sometimes I feel like people get onto her a little too much for stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's like if in her world, it's probably like you said, it's just her. She's there supporting her boyfriend. But do you think she's doing it for any other reason, or do you think she's it's part of her brand to be out and be seen like that in a different venue?
No, because like in the past, Taylor isn't a paparazzi hungry kind of person.
Yeah.
And she seems to be.
Oops, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. She seems to be pretty chill. So I think she's really just there watching her man do the thing. My thing is, if you win, that's the reason you're going to propose. But I stay out of people's business.
Yeah, that's a little weird, isn't it?
Just a like to make a spectacle out of it, I suppose. Because she does deserve a spectacle to be made out of her. If you love a woman, I would suppose you would make a spectacle out of her if you're going to propose. Not because she's Taylor Swift. And,
right.
You're an NFL football player.
Wouldn't you kind of want a little moment, though, to yourself, like a little special moment?
Yeah.
Would you want to do that?
Yeah.
Then you kind of have to share that with the whole football.
The world.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's everybody's seeing that. And if something goes wrong or if it doesn't go exactly right.
Yeah, because she could say no.
Yeah,
that would be
that's true.
tragic.
Oh, man. What if that happened?
Like, oh, no. At least he has a ring.
Yeah. No, thanks. Gonna write a couple songs about you.
Get another Grammy.
Yeah, that's right. Gosh. Yeah, it's crazy. Celebrity status and what goes on. And just, it seems like it's just we're kind of bombarded with that every day. It's like somebody's doing something and we're just kind of hit over the head with it, especially on social media and storylines that we kind of, it's almost like it's our royalty, Hollywood is kind of our royalty. Everybody's just enthused with like what's going on in Hollywood and following different people's lives.
Mm-hmm. I was checking to see what he was doing because I saw him in my viewfinder.
Oh,
I'm like, what extremity are you cleaning? But it's his leg.
It's his. We're safe. It's his leg.
It's his leg. We're good.
Well, moving right along, this happened just a little while ago. I don't know if you guys had time to see it, but Elon was in the Oval Office and he had a little press conference just talking about what he's doing with finding waste and trying to help Trump kind of figure out where money's going and trying to stop some of that waste with laying people off, firing people, asking for buyouts for people who want to retire early. So I got just what I thought was interesting here. If I can play this, brought his son with him, which was kind of cute, and had him there. So I don't know. I think the big thing with this story is he getting too much access in the White House? Is he going? It just, the optics of it maybe doesn't look that great for some people. I kind of think, I don't know. I'm split. Like, I know he's really smart. He's run several businesses. He probably knows a lot about getting waste cut down and cutting budgets, but do you guys think it's too much? Does he need to be that close to the president?
Yeah, I think especially with him like being in the Oval Office, it'd be one thing if he was like on a phone call with Trump being like, oh, hey, like here's this advice or something. But the fact that he was like in the White House, like working with him specifically seems a little much to me. Because again, even though he is very like financially savvy, probably that's not his job. Like he doesn't work for Trump, he's just some like random billionaire.
Right.
No, I completely agree with Chloe. It is so strange because there are people who are elected to positions to serve this specific purpose. Mm-hmm. Like there are heads of financial departments and they have people under them. And if he wanted them to go see where they can cut corners and cut costs, like that should be delegated to that specific department of appointed officials whose job it is and who have the clearance to do so. At this point, Elon Musk is looking at, there was somebody on TikTok who was like, write a letter to the Department of Education, write a complaint, because he's looking at our documents, like he's looking at our federal documents, and he doesn't have clearance or authorization to do so. And so essentially it's been a data breach and a data leak. And so people are like, write a letter and write a complaint and ask for the disposal or the dispelment of your student loans, because there has been a data breach. This man is not authorized. This man is not cleared. This man has no authority to like look at these records, and he's going around poking his nose and can see like my social security. Does he want anything that I have? No, we want nothing to do with my, like, I have no assets for you, Elon, but like he still has access, and he's not supposed to have access. And so like, what are we? I don't know. Know. It's a weird thing.
Yeah. It seems like it's just the whole, and I listened to the press conference, and it wasn't very long, but he assured the press there that it's full transparency, and he had no motives other than to make sure that the American people knew where their money was going. And, it sounds great on paper, but we all know what happens in politics and in Washington, and a lot of things that we don't ever know about, and a lot of things we don't find out about. So what's going to happen if there is a conflict of interest in one of his companies, or I don't know, just like you were saying, it's just, he's not appointed to any kind of position officially there. So I don't know. There's a lot of issues that raise for me, like background, everything. I mean, it just, I don't know. I don't like the optics of it. I wish that, I think there are other agencies there involved that we could probably do the same job. I know that, I guess as president, it's your prerogative to have people in your circle, in your inner circle that you want. I mean, I know Reagan had his personal attorney as attorney general, and I guess there's certain things you can do when you're president, but I don't know. It's just Elon's around, I think, too much. I see him everywhere Trump is. It's like he's there jumping up and down.
Yeah, really.
So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Time will tell, right? But it's just, I think it's just, I don't know. I think, like I said, he's really good, I think, at business, being able to cut budgets. But, look what he did with Twitter. He came in and he hashed half the company. I mean, got rid of all those people.
And now it's called X. And I still type in Twitter into the search bar.
Yeah, same. I still call it Twitter.
Why X? Why mess with the name? It just seems like that's the branding. Everybody knew the branding of that.
For so long, yeah.
Yeah. There's some business. He got some tax write-offs. He took a loss so that he could write off, or rather level the books on the capital, or on the gains and the revenue that he got from his other companies, which is why he bought which is why he bought Twitter. He lost money, but he was able to write off to balance out his books and his profits. So
it was all a business move to change the name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if it's legal and you have people around you that are advising you, I guess, good for you, good on you. But, I don't know. I think we have to watch what goes on even now more than ever. There's so many things that have happened in Washington that sometimes I don't think any of them, honestly, on either side have our best interests at heart. I think it's always about what's going to benefit them, because if not, they wouldn't be fighting for those jobs over and over and over again. It's lost what it's supposed to be, the service to our country. It's become a career, politics.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Have you guys, what's going on with air travel right now? There's another crash that happened what was it, today? I think it was Motley Crue's private jet. Did you guys see that?
No, play the clip.
Yeah, it crashed into private jet, rammed into another jet on the runway. I think one person died. I think it was the pilot.
Jeez.
But there's this one. There's the one in Alaska that crashed recently. 10 people, I guess, died. And then, of course, the two tragedies. What was it, last week? There's lots of fear, lots of holdups in airports, and lots of delays. So I don't know. Is it just a timing thing, or do you think there's something else afoot here? Is it just bad timing with all these accidents?
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but my high school teacher taught me once is an accident, twice is a fluke. Once is a fluke, twice is a coincidence, three times is a trend. And that's held up to be true for a lot of things in my life. I don't have enough information to form a solid opinion. However, there seems to be more to it than just coincidence. If it's, and they're so, the other thing that kind of like piques my interest is that they're so close in timing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're like back to back to back to back. As opposed to this is a sporadic happening, which would be like, oh, tragic, and oh, maybe not. But the fact that they're so close together, especially at the turn of a new presidency with contention in the Middle East, I'm just, and us preparing, like they're bringing back some plan to put satellites that can strike down nuclear warheads in space, and there's a lot of dots to connect. I have not connected them, but yeah, I want to hope, I want to wish, I want to pray that it's a coincidence, but I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think, Chloe?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. Kind of like Zipporah said, I don't know specifically what that like conspiracy or reasoning would be, but it is just very strange that they've happened so fast and so close together, just out of nowhere. Because I mean, obviously crashes happen every now and then and stuff like that. Like every now and then there's going to be some kind of incidents in the plane. But typically, like statistically, usually flying is safer than at least like driving and stuff like that. So it is very odd to see just randomly in the past couple of weeks so many happen. I don't know if it's just like poor training or like communication with the pilots themselves, or if it's something bigger than that, but there's definitely some kind of issue there or something strange going on.
Usually when you hear about a plane crash, if it's something involving the pilot or some sort of electrical or mechanical error, that's like you were saying, Zipporah, that's like a fluke, like something happens once in I don't know, a few years because of all the air travel that goes on every day. But when you see these things happen back to back, like you mentioned, it's just like you start to wonder, okay, well, why did that happen? Why were there no instrument? Why were they flying with only instruments, not infrared? Why did the one pilot think he was, ascending and he was actually going straight down into the ground? It's just, I don't know. You could really tighten your tinfoil hat on some of this and conspiracies. But it's just tragedy. I mean, and I always wonder and go to what I fear is like, is this some sort of test by, terrorism? Is it like finding out about our air travel? How do we, how do we monitor that? What's, our protocols? It's just, I don't know. It just gives me a weird feeling about it, but it could all be a coincidence. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know. Just something sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Very strange.
And well, the other, I guess, good piece of news here is that California, I think, has pretty much contained all of the fire. So now it's a matter of cleaning up and starting over. So I think, I don't know if, I guess the finger pointing still goes on, but at least they've gotten it kind of under control and handled. So it's just you see these pictures, it's such a tragedy, just all California. It's such a beautiful state. I mean, some, politics aside of it. So I don't know. I hope those folks get back on their feet and they're able to work out all that insurance stuff, because I know a lot of those people got dropped by their homeowners, and some people couldn't even get homeowners insurance, which I think is crazy. So they're totally out of luck. And I just hope we take care of them, and once this is over and it's out of the news cycle, I hope we don't forget about them.
I'm happy that they were able to contain the fires. It's criminal to deny people for homeowners insurance, especially when you are required by certain loan companies to have homeowners insurance to be able to like have a mortgage. And then you're denied, and then a tragedy happens, and it's obviously in the best interest of the insurance company, not the best interest of the people.
Yep.
of the uptick of the fires in the past couple of years. And then something like this happens, and they don't have the backing of an insurance company, and like they don't want to file the claims, or they're not answering, or whatever it is. I don't know, it's kind of heartless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
money,
it's
everything leads back to money.
Yeah.
Chloe and I are in Tennessee, and I don't even think in Tennessee you can even get a mortgage without homeowners insurance. It's like it's a requirement. You have to have it. So, wow, I don't know. I hope that I want the politics to go aside of it. I just want the people to be helped. I want I want people to be able to rebuild, and because where are they going to go and where are they going to stay? And it's awful.
Right.
It's just
right.
There's
Yeah, it sucks
humanity
that
involved.
the people aren't the main focus of the story. And that the news just moves so fast. Like, I almost forgot that was still going on because of, like, all the crashes in politics and the Super Bowl and all the other stuff that was happening. Then coverage of the fires, I feel like, has kind of died down some. But it's nice to see at least some good news coverage of it, I guess.
Isn't it crazy how fast the news cycle goes? It's just, yeah. If it's not an interest, you don't see it on social media as much. I mean, after the fires, it's all you saw, the plane crashes, and now there's new stuff. Now it's Super Bowl, it's Elon Musk. It's just, so is the way of news, but it's just, be nice if one of the things I want to do maybe on this show is for us to really kind of bring that up, and keep it in the main focus, because there are real people behind all these stories. And I think that's what we need to remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I have to thank producer Roy for this next story, because he always finds the greatest stories involved, and he brought this up to my attention. This wonderful lady. I don't know if you guys have heard about her, Henrietta Lacks. Have you ever heard of her? Yeah. So she was she had cancer. I believe it was cervical cancer, and she went in for treatment. And of course, back then it was in the 50s. So there was, first of all, John Hopkins was one of the only medical facilities that would treat African-American patients. So she went there at the time, got treatment. She unfortunately ended up passing away from that, but they took a test, they did a biopsy, and they took a test and had her cells. Her cells, I guess, everyone else's, that this doctor, what was his name? We got it here. Pretty interesting. Dr. George Gray, he took cells sample from her cancer. Everybody else's cells had died off, but hers continued to multiply. Like every 24 hours, I believe. She had radium treatments for her cancer. I think that was like one of the only things they could do back then. It was really brutal as far as treatment goes. But now the cool thing about it is they use those cells from her to test effects of toxins and drugs and viruses on the growth of cancer cells. So her cells have made leaps and bounds for cancer research and for this treatment options for not experimenting on humans, so they can figure things out without having to experiment on any of their future humans. So I just think what's amazing is people like this lady goes through all this trauma and pain and horrible things, but she's, now her cells continue to help out medicine. And I just think it's great. I thought it was an awesome story.
Yeah, go ahead, Chloe. Go ahead. No, you say it. Go ahead.
That is really cool. And again, kind of like we said with the past story, it is nice to have something like good and positive in the news cycle, especially with everything that's been going on and all the chaos. It's nice to hear something good. But yeah, that's really interesting. I hadn't even heard about that.
Yeah, I like to find some good things that we could, maybe come up to the end of the show on, or maybe, have some in the show, because everything nowadays is bad. And I just get tired of hearing the bad news all the time. So anything you guys ever have, let's talk about it, because I think it just helps people out, to kind of gives them hope. It's like it's going to be okay ultimately, even your worst days. But hopefully we can bring some of that to people, into the audience, that there's a lot of stuff going on, but there's some good things too in the world always. So, had you heard a lot about her, Zipporah?
Yeah, Henrietta Lacks. because so when they started doing the studies after she passed away, they took her stem cells without her permission. As you know, the Tuskegee experiments with the members of the people who lived in Tuskegee, and syphilis experiments without their acknowledgement or their knowing. So like, yeah, there's a lot of medical testing done on African Americans in the early 1900s, the 1800s, 1700s, without their consent or their approval. And what's really nice about Henrietta Lacks is that it's helped so many people. Yeah. I mean, all of the medical testing that they did on African Americans have helped the majority of the United States and ultimately the world in research and development for treatments and vaccines and things of that nature. But it's just nice to always be able to like call back and be like, hey, like this happened because this happened. And even though the source of it may have been just not positive, you know, the source of it may have been negative, the outcome of it has helped hundreds, millions, thousands of people continue to live today.
And didn't her family finally get some?
Sure did.
Well, yeah.
yeah, they filed a lawsuit.
Finally. Yeah.
They deserve compensation for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of a story. We once were doing a project working on Oak Ridge, trying to tell the story, some of the secrets of Oak Ridge and the crazy things that happened there. Knoxville's near Oak Ridge, about 30 minutes away. And during the Manhattan Project, Oak Ridge became closed off, and the scientists that worked there and their families, basically you were living within this town and working on what they didn't know at the time, but it was part of the atomic bomb, and they didn't have any idea. But one of the tragic stories that I came across in doing research was African-American man who was a young guy. I think he had a family. He was a painter at one of these military buildings on site, and he was just a painter. And so one day he fell. I think he fell off of a ladder, and I think he broke his leg. They took him to a hospital there in Oak Ridge that was, I guess, maintained by the government at that time, because you could not go in or out. You had to have, it was like checkpoints, and nobody knew what was going on inside the gates. But he was worked on, and they started to, since he was there and he was injured, they started to test plutonium on him and see how the human body would react to being radiated by plutonium. And they would actually go so far. He was tortured so badly that his teeth were pulled out, other bones were broken, and they would see if the plutonium exposure did anything hindrance to the treatment that they would then do to try to, to heal him. But he finally, with the help of a nurse, broke out and climbed out the window and escaped. And that's how I think the story got out. But some horrible things have gone on in our past, in our history, for sure. Especially like that, like testing. So that reminded me of that story. It's just, it was just shocking, the things that have gone on.
Happy Black History Month, y'all.
And on that happy note, yeah.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month, everybody. Oh, let's end on something happy here. We have a friend of the show, Molly Dugan, she's a teacher. It's in the Midwest. She's going to kill me. I can't remember what state. But anyway, she does this fun little segment called Things My Students Say. She's known as Miss Dugan on the internet, on Instagram, and she posts these every so often, and it's gotten a huge following. People really love it. So we thought we would just bring one here to watch. She does a really good job with the comedy and the timing. She's really good at it. And then interestingly, this has been copied now by other teachers. Like, they see this, and she's really blown up. And we'll watch it, and I want to get a take from you guys, like just the whole thing on social media of people finding their niche and being able to just go viral. It's just really interesting. I think she started this just as a fluke, kind of vent out some frustration. But let's see if I can recall this. Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand what that. I feel really old when I hear that. But do you think that is that do you guys ever think about that? Like, what it takes to kind of go viral, and just something that you hit on and it takes off. And now she's a teacher, but she's seeing a lot of success on social media with that. So just crazy to me. I think just people can just do something online and it just takes off.
No, I can see why that went viral though.
Oh yeah,
because it's hilarious, and for educators, these kids say the most ridiculous things. When I was working in Virginia in a middle school, I would be texting my friend. I probably shouldn't have been doing this, but I would be texting my friends like quotes of the day from these kids, and they're like what? Like how half the things I'm like, how did you even learn? Like, who taught you that? Like, why do you know what this is? It's just, and there's no shortage of their foolishness. So if you hear fighting in the background, it's my cats. They are, it is their time to play. Yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all can hear them. Oh, hello. Okay, goodbye.
The wrestling has started.
I'm furniture at this point. But I feel like virality words. I feel like virality is it's not easy, but once you find it, it's easy to replicate because you know it keeps their attention. And it's really just almost like a numbers game of just like throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. Once you find something that sticks, you just keep doing it and reinventing it. I think it's wonderful that she's gone viral for that stuff because it's hilarious. It really is. These kids are hilarious.
There's some really funny ones. Coley, have you ever heard of her or seen those online on Instagram?
I haven't heard of her, but I've seen other like similar content. I've seen lots of like different kind of teacher things, whether it's in like showing their kids like drawings or things they write or say or whatever. But along with the like virality thing, I think it's also kind of interesting to see how people go viral or how they get popularity, because there's some people you see online who've like been working at it for years trying to get their stuff to blow up, whereas other people, it may just be one random video they make one day that just like automatically makes them famous. I think it's kind of interesting to see how it kind of happens, because there's different ways people go about it and different ways it happen, and it's kind of like a mixture of luck and then also some skill depending on what you do. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's strange. It's cool. It's the new way, I think, of media. It's like we're trying to do it. We're trying to get out there with this show. So I can't say anything bad about it. But it's just funny that I think that's just the ultimate form of creativity. Like, Zipporah, you and Molly are both teachers. And when you deal with those kids, and it's like you see those, and some of the things they say, it's like they could be comedy writers. I mean, some of the things that come out of their mouths.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had my iPad, because they really, and again, if you hear things, their feeder's going off. But there's so much chaos happening with cats today. Wish they were calmer, but I digress. I wish my iPad, fine. Thank you. I wish my iPad worked, because in like my text messages to my friends, I would read you the quotes, and there's literally no shortage of their foolishness. I don't know, like reality TV, but without the scripting. Like you don't need it. Just put some cameras up and let them roll. You'll get your content. You'll be fine.
That would be the ultimate unscripted show, I think, to do a middle school class.
Oh my gosh. They're wild. These kids are crazy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, you guys, I think we're coming up just a little bit on time. All the things that we talked about, I think that's all that we had. I just want to thank you both again for being on the show, and I want to thank everybody for watching. We had a good response for the first episode, so I want people to come back. We're also offering a membership, so if people want to, I think it's $1.99 a month. But the cool thing that we're going to offer, we're going to do some live taping, so we're going to actually have an audience, and if you're a member, that kind of entitles you to come on as a audience member, so you can ask questions, you can kind of participate in the show. We may even, we were trying to want to get some guests, political figures or other people to come on and talk, and we can, have almost like a town hall type segment for some other issues that go on. And we might do a whole episode on one issue if it's something strong enough. So I just encourage people to please help support us. It's kind of, we want to do this and put stuff out for you guys and for give you an alternative for corporate media and the big media that you're going to see beat over your head with news and stories that they want you to hear and take in. But here, I think you'll get a sample of real life, real people, and hopefully it's entertaining as well. And we'll have dogs and cats and other things that come out. You never know. So anyway, just go on, do all the things, like, share, be a member, tell all your friends about it. And then we will be back every week for new episodes. Our stories are going to kind of go from anything from pop culture to news to hard news to entertainment. We just kind of talk about what's being talked about, really, and kind of give our opinions and give you some other takes on it. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. And if you need to reach out to us, send us an email. It's info. I think it's going to be info at the weekly messenger. Well, I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. I have to talk with Roy about that. Right now, it's info at makoshfilms.com. If you have any questions or ideas, topics, please send them in, because we love to talk about things you guys want to hear about. So, Zipporah, Chloe, thank you as always. Really great to see you both.
The balloons
All
are
right.
back!
You can't have a show without the balloons. we need those every episode.
Every time.
All right. I love it. I love the balloons. All right, you guys. Have a great rest of the week and stay safe.
Bye.